Hey guys, hello, hello, testing, testing, testing. Guys, it's Rashid Hayek, R&B singing lessons.com, YouTube, R&B singing lessons. I wanted to talk about something very important, very important. Okay, I can't do this. Something we feel a lot of the time. All right, I'm talking about vocals specifically, but this does apply to other things. You know that feeling when you can't do something? How do you crush that? How do you crush that self-doubt? Let's see what it really is. It's self-doubt, isn't it? We're afraid. We feel, I don't know if it's fear. It's hard to say if it's fear, but it definitely feels like we can't do something. It's like it's not so much I'm afraid of doing it. It's more I can't do it. It's kind of almost like a logical thing. It's a logic part of your mind. You're saying, hey, I'm trying to do this vocal thing, but I can't do it. I'm trying to copy this singer, do this, but I can't do it. Right? It's almost logical. It's not fear. It's not like I'm scared to be in the dark or something like that. So how do we get through this fear? Oh, this logical mindset, you could say. All right. Understand first that it's a mindset. You can't get through it. If you can't get through that point and keep progressing in your vocals, in your singing, it's because you have the mindset that you can't do it, that you can't do this. Now, you're smart enough to know, you're very logical, you're smart enough to know that there's truth to what you're saying. You can't do it, right? Because in this moment right now, this thing you're trying to do, this vocal phrase, this vocal run, this vibrato, this high note, this whatever it might be, you actually can't do it right now, right? Now, I'm talking about just singing, like basic singing. I'm not talking about necessarily, I'm talking about all levels of singing. I'm talking about whether you're an off-key beginner who can't even copy one note, can't even do that, right? Or whether you're a mid-level singer who can copy notes, but you don't quite sound strong. Sometimes you make mistakes, or you sound weak, or you go off key occasionally. Or whether you're an advanced singer who's already a professional singer on the stage, but you want to get even better, and you want to do even maybe higher notes or lower notes, or you want to sing you want to learn new run patterns that you don't know how to do. Or maybe you can only do short runs, you can't do long runs. Or maybe you can't hold a long note. Maybe your voice, you run out of breath after 3 seconds, for example. Or maybe you don't have any stamina. So there's all different levels. So those are like the 3 most common levels that I experience when I teach. This is about how do you get better than you are. All right, than you currently are right now. Because some people want to get to a certain stage where they're like an alright singer and they can get through a song and they're happy with that. And some people are like, I'm advanced, but I want to be like elite. I want to be like, Mariah Carey or whatever. So this is the self-doubt that you experience no matter what your level is when you're trying to get better than you are. All right, and it's logical because when you're trying to do something, you can't do it and you don't sound good, right? In the moment you're doing it, you're like, I don't sound like this singer, I can't do this, and you're right, you can't do it. All right, so now I'm going to tell you, how do you get through that? The way you get through that is by ignoring that. You have to ignore that feeling. You have to ignore that logic that says, I can't do this. Because in this moment, there is no option other than to continue trying. Because if you say you can't do this, and you'll be making a correct assumption that you can't logically do this right now, you're not doing it in this moment, right? You're not capable of this phrase, of this high note, of this vibrato, of this run. You're not capable of it, so you're right. But what option do you have other than to continue pushing through that feeling? I can't perform right now on stage. I'm too scared to get up there. It's true. You're scared as, you're shaking. What do you do? Do you stop? Do you give up because you can't do it right now? See, this is a future decision you have to make. So I experience this feeling every time I learn something new. And that is nearly every day. Can you imagine that? Like, I experience this self-doubt every time I go to make a video. I experience self-doubt, are they gonna laugh at my hat? Are they gonna go, oh, he's in a bad mood. Oh, he doesn't sound great. Oh, he's like aggressive when he talks. I have these self-doubts all the time. Oh, a live video is going to be boring. Oh, who's going to watch my live video? Like, I'm just going to talk about this. Who cares? Oh, only 5 people are going to watch my video. It's not going to make a difference. Self-doubt, always. This stuff runs through my mind. I know you might not think that that's what I'm thinking, but I think these things. Does that mean I shouldn't make my video? I'm not good enough to make a video. I'm not experienced enough to make a video. Blah, blah, blah. All these self-doubts. Same when I'm singing. For example, today I was learning Tori Kelly, Don't You Worry About a Thing. There's an incredible run in that, right? There's a few, but I was learning a few of them. And as I was learning them, I started to experience this intense self-doubt. Like, oh, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. But from experience, I know that when I listen to something that's new, I know that I need to try it dozens of times before I even get close to getting it, before I get through that self-doubt. I know that I'm going to experience self-doubt for approximately 5 to 10 minutes of that process while I'm learning. The self-doubt of, I can't get it, I can't do this is too hard. Experiencing self-doubt for that long, 5 to 10 minutes, is a very long time. It's so long, right? Like, can you imagine being nervous or afraid for 10 minutes? It's a long time. And then at the same time, you're trying to think, I'm just going to cover. I got a headache. I'm a bit sensitive from the sun today. Can you imagine trying to get through that for that long? It's a long time, all right? But from my experience, the only way that I can move forward is to go through that self-doubt and keep focused on the task. What's the task? The task is I'm trying to learn 20 notes. The task is I'm trying to learn a long vibrato. The task is I'm trying to learn a song in a different language, right? Like I learned Bakit Pa Ba. That was so hard, guys. It's in Filipino. I have no idea of the language. I'm not even talking about the musicality, the blends, the falsetto, the high notes, the runs, just the melody, the vibrato, the dips, the slides. It was so hard to learn, right? What I experienced self-doubt every single time I did a practice session. Now, I'm an experienced singer. You guys have heard me do advanced covers before I even did Bakit Pa Ba, or what, like something in a different language. That's something that as hard as being in a different language, and as hard as that song, that specific song as well. I experienced self-doubt every time I sat down and trained, because I'm like, oh, I'm not remembering these lyrics. Gay tagal akong bulag sa katulad mo, gayong wakas yaling pag-ibig mo, oh, iniwan pa kita laging I think I made one mistake in there. But just to get to that point where I could sing it like that, just off by heart, I don't have the lyrics in front of me, I'm singing it off by heart. Man, so much self-doubt. I'm like, self-doubt. I'll talk to myself like this. Why am I doing this? I can't do this. Why am I trying to sing in a different language? I'm not good enough to do this. Oh, my memory sucks. I've already spent half an hour and I can't even remember these two lines. I keep forgetting. I keep, oh man, how am I ever going to remember the whole verse? How am I ever going to remember the whole song? These are the things I would say to myself, right? Can you imagine that? Like, that every time I would practice, every time I would I chunk my practice into small bits, right? I do either 10-minute segments or occasionally I'll do like, I'll do 20-minute segments. But then even that, I chunk that into smaller bite-sized skills. So I might be like, okay, I'm only going to learn these 4 lines of the song or these 2 lines of the song. So the only way I get through it, guys, is pushing through that uncomfortable feeling of, I can't do this. Why am I doing this? I don't deserve to be this good. I'm not supposed to be as good as these artists. I'm not supposed to learn a different language. I'm not supposed to be a singer at all. I don't have the skills. Other singers are better. All this noise in my head, I push through it. I'm always pushing through it. It's a never-ending battle, guys. It never stops. I've never reached a point where I go, I'm not nervous to perform. I'm not scared to make a video. I'm not scared to learn this new difficult run. I'm learning Italian, right? I'm learning Pavarotti's Ave Maria, grazie. Oh wait. See, I'm rushing it now. I screwed it up. Let me fix it up. Ave Maria, gratia plena. Maria, gratia plena. So I can't tell you how hard that was to learn that. I can't tell you how many sessions that took me to learn that. How long it took to hold my breath for that whole, that really long one in the beginning. How many times I thought, why am I doing this? What's the point of this? This is too hard. This is like something I battle with. I'm always battling with it. It never stops. And you know why I push through the self-doubt? Because I've had the experience of pushing through the self-doubt to come to the part where I get to the reward of being able to do it and enjoying it and loving it. Now, when I achieve it, not the final thing. I don't mean, hey, I can finally sing that whole song. I mean, just achieving one line really well and remembering it and being just able to do it off the top of my head, or even with reading lyrics, I get this sense of like, I'm singing with Pavarotti. I'm singing with Wanye, I'm singing with Tank, I'm singing with JR, whoever it is. I get this feeling. That's why when I do my reaction videos, I do that thing where I sing along with them, because I know the reward of singing along. There's just a nice reward. And that's what my mind goes to. It goes to, hey, I know now that self-doubt is part of this. I know I'm going to achieve this reward, this pleasure, this feeling of, hey, I got it. Hey, it's so fun to sing it. Oh my God, it feels so nice to sing this line nicely. It feels so good. Nessun dorma, tu puro principessa, nella tua fredda stanza, guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore, che ti fa mia. The pleasure of being able to just do that, like how I just did it. No one's clapping. You guys are listening. 14 people are listening right now. But no one, there's no one clapping here. I've been singing that to myself and loving it and enjoying it for like nearly 2 months now. I haven't made a cover yet because I want it to be really good before I make the cover. I've done many covers where I'm like, they're all right, and I'll post it and know it's all right. I know it's not like amazing yet, but I'll do it. I'll post it anyway because I'm like, that's enough. But now lately I've been like, hey, wait till something's so much a part of you and you feel like you've really got it to a point where it's very close to the original. So now I'm in that phase. I'm kind of doing that now. I'm doing something new. I'm challenging myself. I'm like, hey, don't post something after learning it for a week or 2 weeks. Maybe try learning it for a few months and don't quit. Come back to it. Keep coming back to it. Don't let that doubt get, don't let that think, oh, it's good enough. I don't know if I'll ever make that high note sound like Pavarotti sounds, so I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to put it up now. I'm like, now I'm like, wait a second. Push yourself to a new level, past that self-doubt, that insecurity or whatever. Just keep going with it. Hey, just like, I'm at that stage. Some people are too perfectionist too early. I'm like, hey, I've been singing a long time. I want to push myself on. Can I learn in a different language? I've always loved this opera stuff. How come I'm not like, why have I never learnt it? Because it's a different language. Is that my barrier? Hey, I know Arabic. Why can't I learn Italian? You know? So there's like insecurity, self-doubt. I'm pushing myself through new ones, new self-doubts. And my students are always going through their own self-doubts, and I'm helping them. Every week I teach 5 to 10 lessons every week. I'm pushing through with my lovely students, pushing their boundaries, their self-doubts. Everyone's got their self-doubts. I'm dealing with them every day and I'm advanced. Not because I'm learning, just because I'm learning a new language or something, but because the phrases I'm learning are harder than what I'm currently capable of. So I'm going to experience self-doubt when I learn them. Now, some people, they let the self-doubt stop them. I've seen extremely incredible singers that I think are better than me, that have a more beautiful sound, maybe better range, maybe more tone, maybe more volume, more stamina, whatever it might be. I might listen to them and think, shit, man, their pitch accuracy or their whatever, it's so damn good. I'll be jealous, I'll be envious, I'll be motivated to learn, to become better like them. But I'll see them come to a point where they go to learn something they don't know how to do, and they stop after like 2 or 3 goes, only 2 or 3 goes. And that shows me that for some people, when you're in a comfort zone, that self-doubt, it's too strong. It's like you learn what you're capable of just copying, but then you sort of, anything outside of that takes you, that maybe it requires you to think differently, it's harder than you're currently used to. You might have to spend maybe like 10 sessions to learn it. That's a lot, right? Even 3 sessions. 3 sessions means 3 times 10-minute practices, for example. That's too confronting for some people, whether they're a beginner, whether they're intermediate, or whether they're advanced. For some people, that's too confronting. That's like, oh, like the doubt is so strong, I can't do that. It kicks in so strong that it makes the person stop. So I'm telling you here, whether you're a beginner that can't match a single note, or whether you're an intermediate that can't maybe do like vibrato or runs, or can't sing really high, or your pitch accuracy is shaky sometimes, or whether you're an advanced singer who can perform on stage and kill it. You could probably sell albums right now. You probably are. You're probably gigging. You're probably killing it. But there's some things you can't do, like maybe some range or some really high runs. Maybe you want to sing in a different language or whatever. You have some roadblock. You have some blocks that you wish you could do, but you can't do them. And you have that doubt whenever you try to do them, and you just quit because of that doubt, that I can't do this, which you're right, you can't do this. But how do you move forward? You need to develop a strategy to do this. You either get a coach, you get a program, or you just sit down and you try to figure out a way to do it by not quitting after trying it for a couple of goes. Okay, I didn't have a coach. Guys, I didn't have a coach for all my years. I had to be my own coach. Now, I did have coaches in the way that I read books. I did meet people that might have given me a tip here and there, but I didn't have an ongoing coach. The closest thing to an ongoing coach for me was probably my youngest brother and sister, who were very naturally talented. So I would ask their opinion a lot. Is my vibrato getting better? Is this run right? Does this run sound right? Karim, Dalal, does my vibrato, do I sound nice overall, Dalal? She'd be like, does this song that I wrote sound good, Dalal? She'd be like, this is good, but this part, like that kind of stuff. So That's the closest thing I had to a mentor. But maybe I am gifted with like logical stuff, so I try to really sit down. I'm good at analysis maybe, and I try to analyze, what is it about this singer that makes them sound so much nicer than me when they sing the same song. They're not doing runs, they're not doing vibrato, they're not doing tricks, just basic stuff like why, when some singers sound amazing as soon as they open their mouth, they're just like, they can sing something and they're just like, it sounds perfect straight away. La donna mobile cal piume al vento. Like, why does it sound, that vento note was flat? Why does it sound right or accurate? And then when someone else sings it, you're kind of like, La donna it's like shakier, and you're like, what's wrong with my voice? What's different? So I'd spent years, because I didn't have a coach, and I probably should have gotten a coach, a more longer term strict coach, maybe. I don't know. It might have helped me if I'd maybe shopped around and tried to find the right coach, because all I did was find one coach and then I complained. And even then, I didn't spend a long enough time with that coach to see maybe they would have tried different methods. You know what I mean? And then the ones that they were doing that I wasn't happy with. But maybe a part of me was like, hey, I feel like I want to solve this by myself, because shopping around for a coach costs a lot of money and I didn't have a lot of money at the time. And it's a certain effort about shopping around for a coach, that maybe I didn't want to do, and there wasn't coaches like that said that they do what I wanted to do, like R&B. It wasn't like now where you can go on the internet and you can find what you want with a search. Like, it's so easy. Whereas before, my searches were just finding like pop, opera, contemporary, and I was even considering to just do that, Then I was like, oh, so maybe I just wanted the challenge of learning it on my own. I think part of me maybe wanted that. And, it was a long journey, but I think part of me maybe wanted that journey. And look, it's made me become an amazing teacher in my eyes. Like, it's taught me that, and it's taught me like a lot of stuff, Maybe I would have learned it in lessons, maybe I wouldn't. I don't really know, because I didn't go through that timeline I didn't go through that experience. So self-doubt always happening. As a teacher, I have so much self-doubt, always like, am I teaching this person the best way possible? And sometimes I'll come up with a great way later, like half a year down the track. I'll think of a much better way to teach a student that I've had already for half a year, and I'll be like, oh man, did I teach him wrong all the time, or did I teach her wrong all this time? I'd be like, no, you taught them, you gave them something, you're always giving them something, and then now you just got another way to do it. Just do that way, just add that way, because you're always learning. Would I have even thought of this way if I hadn't taught this person for 6 months? You got to think of it like also that way. So if you never even try, how do you know what you're going to achieve? So stop saying I can't do this and letting that be your roadblock. Just say, I can't do this right now, but I'm gonna keep trying to do it. And what does that look like? That looks like spending hundreds of reps attempting something before you say, I don't think you can say you can't do it. In my experience, when I spend hundreds to thousands of reps on something over dozens of sessions over a long time, like over months maybe, or weeks to months, or days to months, I've never found a time where I'm like, hey, I've stopped progressing. It just hasn't happened. So in my experience, don't worry about saying you can't do this. Just measure yourself and say, what can't I do right now? And here's how I'm going to work on it. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to break it into tiny pieces. I'm going to gradually build up the speed. I'm going to memorize those tiny pieces. And then I'm going to gradually combine those tiny pieces. There's so many ways to approach it. I'm going to sing with the singer, and then I'm going to sing without the singer. I'm going to use a piano to help me perfect my notes. I'm going to get a coach if I'm so stuck that I can't even think of anything to do. I've watched videos and I still can't do it. I'm going to maybe get a coach to help me out with these bits and pieces. I'm going to get a long-term coach because I can't be bothered trying to figure it out, or I just don't know where to start. I just listed for you like 10 strategies, and only 2 or 3 of them cost money. The coach one. Only one of them costs money, the coach one. The rest of them are free, right? So you are your only wall. Like, the only limits are the ones you're placing on yourself. All right, you're a smart person. That Let me change my position. You're smart, you're capable, and you're not a quitter by nature. By nature, we love to learn. We're not quitters, okay? When we quit, we don't feel right. It's like a nagging regret on us, right? We're not quitters by nature. Look at all the things you have achieved, all right? Look at all the skills you have learned. Imagine if you learning to quit learning to read and write. What would happen? You could have quit. I've seen kids that are like 14, 15 years old. When I used to work in high school, they were in a disadvantaged classes, and I don't mean disadvantaged as in they had something wrong with them, like they were fine, their mental capacities are fine, but they've been through traumas, or they were like in bad households, like families that had problems and stuff, financial issues, whatever, like all different kinds of things, violence. And some of these kids were 14, 13, 14, and they really struggled at reading and writing. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that like you could be that age and not know that. And now when you think about it now, it's because at some point they quit during their schooling because maybe they weren't, either they chose to quit. I'm not saying they chose to quit necessarily, but maybe they didn't have, no, I'm saying this wrong. They weren't present maybe at school, like, because a lot of these kids have issues. They don't come to school as often, right? So they weren't, not on their fault. Like, since they're young, they don't go to school as often. And when they go to school, they're so behind because they're not going as often that they just decide to do like hardly anything. And how can you blame them? Because, the rest of the class is like here and they're here, and then it's like the class is too hard. So you switch off. It makes sense, right? So my point is, when you don't quit at something, like even if you're forced, like you're forced to go to school, we're forced almost to go to school and learn reading and writing every day. You're almost forced to, right? Now imagine if you were forced to go to school and do 1 hour of singing every day. Don't you think everyone in society would be an incredibly advanced singer? Of course. If you spent 15 years doing a 1 hour a day class of singing, you would be an advanced singer unless you didn't show up to class. All right? Because singing it's not a mystery. There's all coaches, and that their job is to make you a better singer. So why does self-doubt creep in? We know people who learn to do these things. I think maybe we don't really know, but we take for granted that we can read and write. I was putting up the example of the people that can't read and write as an example that when you don't learn, you can't do something. But when you learn and you're applying yourself, like we do for reading and writing, it ends up just being a skill that you don't even think about. Hey, I can do this. It's just a skill. So singing is the same. It's just a skill. You just have to apply yourself for long enough. Now, in school, they don't let you quit. If you start going, oh, I don't want to write, miss, I don't want to read, miss, I don't want to, they just make you do it over and over until they force you to do it. They force you to read. They force you to write. As much as you complain, oh, my hand hurts, as much as you complain, okay, take a break and do it again. Or whatever it might be, They teach you to use a pen. These aren't natural skills. Singing is not a natural skill. You learn it. It's something you learn to do. Now, some people can use a pen better than others, and they can create beautiful art. I can't. I'm not one of those people. And some people draw horribly, right? Why is that? There is a gift to learn how to use the pen better, right? And there's a gift to learn how to use your voice better. But it doesn't mean that no one can learn. Everyone can learn to read and write. We know that, right? They don't go, oh no, well, we're not sending teachers to this area or to this country because those people, they don't have any hope to read and write because of such and such reason. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because we know that we can read and write. We know that here's a strategy for reading and writing. Here's many strategies probably. Here's a bunch of teachers that have taken kids through that. Let's put them in this school. They're going to learn to read and write, guaranteed, right? Singing is the same. You just have to spend enough time doing it. Self-doubt creeps in. Imagine if you said, oh no, I can't read, I can't write to the teacher. You probably did. You probably said, oh, this word is so hard, miss. Like, I can't spell that word. Or it's so hard to read this word, and you just kind of want to quit. Oh, writing this letter is so difficult. Oh, like, oh, writing like a paragraph is so hard, it hurts my hand. I'm sure I don't even remember when I was that young. I don't have good memory of my youth. But yeah, the idea is that you didn't quit that. You probably didn't want to do it that often, but they kind of made you because that's the format of school, right? And the singing is the same. So if you're quitting too early, if you want to learn this ridiculous run, or you just want to learn how to copy a note, or you just want to learn how to sing happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear someone, happy birthday to you, really basic like that, just in tune, just copying every note really accurately. I'm not doing it complicated. I'm not like going, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you, for example, right? So, like, I'm saying whether you want to learn the first one or the second one, whatever your current level is, the first one might be really, really hard for you. And I have students, they can't sing the first one, right? What do? You just keep going, find a strategy, keep researching. You might mean you need to research for 20, 30, 40 hours until you find a strategy. That's what I did. I researched instrumentalists, guitarists, pianists, singing teachers. I researched so many things before I built the strategy that helped me develop my voice. I researched music theory. Oh my God, I spent so many hours researching, guys, so many hours. And it was because I was frustrated because my voice was so basic and I wasn't getting better at what I wanted to do. And I was like, why can't I get better? And it drove me to research. It drove me, I spent money on some lessons. And just even finding that teacher was hard. It was hard. Back then we didn't have like YouTube like we have now and internet like it's now. It was more basic back then. Okay, I want to read your comments now. Half an hour talking. Damn. Okay. John says, don't copy, just be you because you're a good singer. Cool. I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking in general, but yeah, I don't really agree with the statement 100% because I think that some people have a drive to want to be better than they are, and being better than you are usually means finding a role model of someone who's better than you, or you creating something that doesn't exist yet. So I think it's extremely fun. I've really enjoyed the process of being like my favorite artists, being like Craig David, being more like Tank, more like Wanye, etc. I've really enjoyed that process. So I really love modeling on other people that are better. Now, in saying that, I agree with you in the sense that you want to be unique. You don't want to be an exact copy of the person. Now, it's impossible for my voice to be, I could be an imitator, but I don't think you should be copying as in I should sound like Tank and copy his exact tonality. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound like that. I'm trying to copy his ability to sing pitches accurately at the speed and range that he does. That's what I try to copy within my tone. I don't try to take out my natural breathiness or whatever, I try to keep my tone how it is, if you know what I mean. So that way you should be unique. And I write my own songs and that kind of stuff. But in the way of improving your skills, copying people is a good way to improve your skills. I'll say that. JV, the best performance comes with the best preparation. Do you agree, Coach? I love that. Exactly. And I'm finding that the more I prepare, the better the result. The more... So like I said, I've been holding off on creating some YouTube videos. Like the Bakit Baba that I put up, for example, the one with the karaoke. I originally made that about 2 weeks before that video. And then I was like, And I liked it, and I love to listen to it to see how I am going, where I'm at. And in the past, I might have posted that as my final one. But then something in me was like, hold on, you've already done that a lot in the past. Why don't you try to make this song a part of you, like you've done with some of your other covers that you know really well, like your English ones and stuff? You know, why don't you spend more time on it? So I was like, all right. And I think I spent maybe one more month on that, or several weeks extra on that, till I felt like, hey, I think I can smash this. And even then, that video was like the second take or something. It might have been the second take, yeah, on that particular day. So the extra preparation made a big difference. The earlier versions of that video, the one that I did several weeks before that, it was nowhere near as nice as the final one. It made a big difference. And I think the result of the comments and the views that I've gotten on that video, and the beautiful, amazing comments I've gotten on that video, the heartwarming comments, are a direct reflection of the extra work that I put in on that, you know? And I've realized that, hey, you get what you deserve, like nearly. Like the comments that I get, they're deserved because I put in extra several weeks of work. Those weeks, they were hard. I had so much self-doubt. I'm like, oh, I'm still working on this song? That's what I was saying to myself as I was doing it, because I don't normally work on a song that way. Normally I'll like learn a song gradually and I'll really know it, and then like a year later I'll cover it or something. Like, just naturally I'll learn the song maybe. Or no, I'll sit and work on it. But because this was in a different language, and I was kind of like, hey, like I want to treat it like I'm on a time frame. So I was like, I'm just going to keep learning. And that was a new approach for me, and it was difficult. And I went through a lot of like self-doubt during that process. So the preparation paid off, Now I listen to that. I love to listen back to that. I love to listen to it and cover and be like, yes, like I killed it, I killed it 90%. It's good. I'm still critical of some things, but I'm like, that's about as good as my level was, I felt. Anyway, all right. Maya says, thank you very much, going through the same. Great. I have no option to. We have to do it because we have an option. That's it. What's up, the one? I'm good, man. Renzo, hey, coach. Been a long time since been alive. Yeah, it's been a while. Glad to have you here. Finally caught live, Fernando. The one. Enjoyed your interviews with Jaya and Johan. Any more coming up? Yes, I had a few more people that I was in contact with, but man, I've been so busy with Amira, my baby, and with my partner, and with my lessons, that I've hardly had a minute, like to do the interviews. So I'm hoping to do the interviews at some point, but I've just put it on pause because I've just felt like I've taken on so much, you know what I mean? Look how long I spent, like 2 weeks without doing a reaction nearly. So it's like, I just need to, it's hard to pick the priorities, you know what I mean? So, yeah. When I have doubts, I remind myself how far I've come. That's good. I love that. You sing better than most people ever will. Thank you, man. And, even when you tell me that, I agree with you, but it doesn't mean that the self-doubt will stop. And I really want to emphasize that I've learned that the self-doubt is a part of learning something new. It's a part of the challenge of learning something new. And you just have to accept it and learn to get past it. And it might only take 5 minutes of patience, of working hard at it, but that 5 minutes, that's something that some people will never ever do in their life. They might spend 10 years to learn that, hey, this is a 5 minutes of difficulty I have to go through, but once I go through it, it's going to feel easier. So, yeah. The one, just clap. Thanks. Thank you, Happy Chicks. Deslin, you're alive. Yes, I am. Looks like a beautiful day there. It is a beautiful day. I have too much of a headache to sit directly in the sun, though. But I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys. Sometimes this distracts me from my headache. And it has. It's been nice. Fernando says, hey, dude, I sent you a message on the website. I'm getting really serious about something. One lesson. Great, man. Did I respond to you? I don't remember. I'm getting really limited on my places for lessons. So you are gonna have to book. We'll have to talk about what time you can do, because my time slots are getting full, because my current students are very regular. They're very they've either bought the year package or they buy their smaller packages regularly. So I don't really have much free time, unfortunately. Which is a good thing, because I love having a small group, that are really regular, because I like seeing the big changes in people. But yeah, man, you're a long time person, so hopefully we can work a time out. And if not, we'll work something out that maybe I can help you more, like more or less regularly or in a different way. Astrid, record first yourself, then once you have that in your head, you add and recreate, make your own. I love that. That's great. Pharyngitis, yeah, that sucks. And there's ways that you can practice without actually singing. You can train your ear by breaking down parts of songs. You don't need to sing hard out. I train all the time with a tired voice or with sickness. I still train, but I modify my training. I make it about ear training or instrument. Learn an instrument, It's so gratifying to play guitar or piano. It's so gratifying to play those. So spend that time while you're sick developing your instrumental abilities. Kim, I want you to coach me, please. Hey, Kim. Yeah, I was just saying how I'm getting pretty full on my coaching, but yeah, you can email me and we can see what we can do, what you need. Maybe I can listen to you and give you some advice. Practice makes perfect. That's right, Lyric. Trend, Karen. We all experience self-doubt, one step at a time. Blessings. Thanks you, Karen. I love that. One step at a time. I love that so much. When I'm teaching and when I'm teaching myself as well, I always tell myself that, and I tell my students, one step at a time. You're only doing one step. That's why I encourage people to get my larger lesson packages, because I'm like, there's so many steps involved. Your voice is always gradually changing in such small bits and pieces. It's one step at a time. You can't just be like, I've done 100 hours of training and I still can't sing like my favorite artists. Well, okay, keep working the steps. I've had students that have done years of lessons with other coaches and they still can't sing how they want to yet. I'm like, it's okay, another step. We've got, maybe you got 20 more steps, and each one of those steps is going to take 20 hours of training each before you feel, like you're hitting, like you're ready. It's a beautiful journey. Enjoy it. Enjoy the steps, It's like taking a long car ride to a beautiful destination. I recently went on a beautiful holiday. It was a 3-hour car ride. It's not that long. Some people sit in traffic for 3 hours a day. But it was a 3-hour car ride. You just learn to enjoy it, put songs on in the car ride, have beautiful conversation, listen to an audio book, look at the scenery, drive slow, don't rush. Don't make it, I have to drive at the speed limit. Drive slow, cruise back in the, the left lane or whatever. Enjoy the journey, The one, gotta love Coach's passion. Thank you, man. The one, most of you guys in the Philippines, if Coach had a Vocal Coach Academy there, would you go? That's really nice. I'm in China, in case you're wondering. Nice. Gym TC, I'm in Zanzibar. Really? Gym TC? Self-doubt comes from many areas. One, comparing yourself to others. Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, to improve, you do need to compare yourself to others. It's a good tool to improve. Modeling is an important stage of improvement. My entire system is based on modeling. It's based on modeling what other great teachers have done and other great artists do, and creating that as a blueprint of what to achieve and how to get there. It's all modeling, like we're modeling from when we're born. I watch my beautiful young daughter, Amira. I just watch her modeling me. It's so beautiful. I'm about to cry thinking of it. The way she models, it's so beautiful. You just watch her copying, like some of it's genetic, I'm sure, and some of it's learnt. Like she'll just the way she wipes her head, I'll be like, then I wipe my head one day and I'm like, that's how I do it. She does it the same way. It's so cute. Is she copying or is that her genetic? I'm not sure. You know, I'll sing a song and she just like watch. I'll be like, is that genetic or is she just is she copying something? I don't know. It's hard to know how much is genetic and how much is modeling, but we know for sure that kids model, you know, they model to a degree. So my girlfriend, like my girlfriend's not a baby, all right? I know Jessica, she models, like she'll start copying. I'll be practicing Bakit Baba on guitar, like next to her, and sometimes she'll start singing back the lyrics or she'll sing back the melody if she doesn't sing the lyrics. And be like, babe, did you pick that up? Like she'll do some hard melody, like she'll just copy it back. She'll be like, well, I heard you sing it a million times. It's like we instinctively model, like we just copy. Like she likes to sing, you know, but I think we instinctively model. Even Jess's mum will be over. She'll come over regularly, my mother-in-law, and she'll start singing the songs that I sing. Like I might sing a bit of it while I'm there. Sometimes I like to perform for them in pieces, and then she'll start singing it along with me. I'm like, how does she know it? She'll be like, well, you've performed it for us a few times. So yeah, Jess is the type where I'll play her a new song that she hasn't heard before, and she'll start singing it by the last chorus. She's that kind. So never quit till you make it. I love it, Happy Cheeks. Karen, not having a supportive family life. That's very, very hard. That can make it very hard, you know. That was an obstacle for me. Now, you know, I used to get told, you're going to think you're going to learn guitar? Good luck. That's so hard. It really hurts your hands. It's so hard. I was told that when I bought a guitar at 20 years old. I was always told, stop trying to sing songs that are out of your level. And you know, now, look, I've learned those songs. Bakit Baba is one of them. You know, my dad always used to tell me, you know, you keep trying to sing songs that are too hard for you. And now I'm doing it. So he was right. Those songs were very hard for me. But he wasn't right in the way that, hey, I could eventually learn how to do it. It's just it was a long-term thing, you know? So he doesn't know. He doesn't know any better. Now I realized, you know, my dad, he's not a teacher. He's a good singer in Arabic, but he's not a teacher. He's never had the experience of taking someone from a beginner like I was to become like intermediate advanced like he is, or like the artists that I like are. He just doesn't know, you know? So sometimes people create ideas or methodologies in their mind, like, you know, if you can't sing since your childhood, or if you're not good enough naturally, don't bother learning. Like, that's something that people created. It's a myth. It's not real. But people create it because they like to try to understand things. They might hear a singer that's not good and they put up with it and it's annoying, you know, and so they kind of create the ideas, look, maybe you shouldn't be a singer, you know, and part of them is right, you know, because it's like, well, that person's not that good. But now we can know better. We can know, hey, look, if someone's not good, tell them, go get lessons or go teach yourself. You're not that good. Learn to be better if you're really passionate, because if I'm going to have to listen to you singing around me all the time, I want you to be singing well so I can enjoy you and not be annoyed at your voice. For example, that's one way you could deal with it. Jim TC says, do you think it's important to know your vocal range? Yes, it's very important to know your vocal range, because when you attempt to sing a song, you need to know if you need to modify that song to fit your vocal range, if you need to modify the key of the song, if you need to modify some notes in the song, because you can hurt your voice when you try to sing too high or too low. Singing too low actually hurts your voice. Singing too high can hurt your voice. So you need to find your right, you need to understand your range, because how you practice needs to be tailored around that, you know? For example, I'm learning Versace on the floor. Versace on the floor, and I'm learning using the Johan Mendoza version, because I'm not that into Bruno Mars's voice. I don't know why. but I'm just not into his voice that much. But I like his songs. So I like covers, you know, more. I'll listen to covers. I won't really listen to the originals that much. So that song is too high for me. Like, it's got a part where he goes underneath the chandelier, that part, and then there's baby, turn down the lights, close the. Ooh, I love that dress, but you won't. It's like C C C C C. It's like all on a high C, repeated, but you won't need it, and then it goes up to a D. And now I can hit those notes maybe once off here and there, but I can't sing them like that, like they are in that song. So when I practice, I need to keep that in mind, or I'll hurt my voice if I just try to sing it up there the whole time, right? Or I won't get anywhere because I'll just have to sing it lower all the time. So it's important for me to tailor my practice to be like, hey, you know, I don't know if I'm ever going to reach those notes or that ability to sing it the way it's Johan is singing it. And I know Johan has a higher voice than mine, because when I did my interview with him, you know, his voice, he sang up to high E in chest comfortably. Whereas for me, and he wasn't even warmed up. So he can go, I think he can go up to high F or high G in chest voice, G5. Whereas for me, when I go up to like a B and it starts to get really hard. Whereas for him, when I took him lower, he couldn't do the low notes that I do. You know, like a low G, that kind of, he's like, no, I can't do that. And I was like, oh wow, like actually, you know, his voice literally sits like a couple notes higher than mine. So I can't expect to just sing that same way, you know, without maybe significant amount of training, because I know people can do it. I have heard people with that big of a range, low and high. So I'm like, you know, I need to tailor my training to account for that high range. So I'm going to have to drop the key of the song. If I'm going to perform the song, if I want to perform that song right now, I can, but I'll have to drop it maybe 2 keys. Otherwise, I'm going to sound like a dying cat. And I'm not being humble. I will sound like that because it's just too high, you know? So it's very important to know your range, Jim. And you got a great range, Jim. Jim's one of my students. Deslan, love the tone. Thank you. Karen, I cannot sing. I'm referring to self-doubt in other areas. Yeah, that's right. This applies to many areas in life. Those runs. Thank you, Deslan. I think now he's losing it, people. I don't know which part you're talking about. Sorry. Thank you, Deslan. Wow. Coach, question. Can someone like a non-talented singer going through vocal training be at the same level as natural talent singing without training? Yes. That's what I was just describing a bit earlier. It's just a matter of training. How much time are you willing to put in? I've surpassed several of my natural singer friends in certain skills, such as runs, because they can do everything else. They're extremely talented at everything else, but there's some runs that I know that they can't do, and when they hear me do it, they become impressed because they know where I started, especially just they hear me just sing generally, and they're like, oh, surprising. So I reached those levels. For example, my sister, she's a very talented singer, but there's runs that she can't do that I can. So I've surpassed her, whereas before I couldn't even do what she was doing. It's just an example of if you put in enough time, your level just goes higher. Natural is not one level. You know what I mean? Everyone is at a different level. And when we say natural, it doesn't mean that they're always a 10 out of 10. It means they could be like an 8 out of 10, and a beginner could be like a 2 out of 10. So when you say natural, it doesn't mean that bad and good, you know? Bad singer, natural / good singer. It's not that simple. It's levels that are measurable by, like, you know, how high can they sing, what runs can they sing, what speed of runs can they sing, how good is their pitch accuracy, what volumes can they sing, what's their range, etc. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Oh, snap. I love that. I love that, Jim. I'm going to screenshot that. Oh, I can't screenshot it. Oh, man, now it's gone back to the bottom of the comments. Is the Daryl Long interview going to happen? I haven't gotten in contact with Daryl because I just got so busy, and I got multiple interviews, other interviews that people were ready to interview that I haven't even had time for. So, not yet. I don't know if Daryl will do it. He's harder to contact. Determination plus skill equals success. I love that. Determination plus skill. Fernando, do you know Alex? No, I don't know him. Okay. Yeah, send me, bro. Send me. Magic Johnson, keep it up. Don't self-doubt. You are good in your own way. Don't compare, as we are all unique. Yes, we're all unique. But I always love to compare because it's a good way to measure what you can and can't do. You know what I mean? To celebrate our differences as well. And to be like, hey, you know, what levels are we capable of doing? I love that. If we can get better, why not? If we can all learn to read and write, we're doing it, aren't we? So same thing. If we can all learn to sing like such and such singer, why not? If we want to, why not? Let's make the standard. Yeah, you're competing with yourself to get better, yeah. Renzo, having self-doubts. Working too hard. Okay. I know you like to challenge yourself with Bucky Babaka, but it would be nice if you do English covers or tag-along songs. English, okay. Alright. Thanks, dude. Yeltsin, hey. Good day, coach. It's been a long time since I've seen you live. Have chicks. No, I haven't looked yet. I thought about you a few days ago, actually. I was like, oh, I haven't looked at those yet. Sorry, man. I'm gonna have to. Karen, I found out when I rode horses, I compared myself to others. Took away from my enjoyment of riding. Self-doubt came in. And you want to... Yes, exactly. And that's what I mean. I hope you don't misunderstand me when I say comparing is good. I mean comparing to help you advance your skills, yeah. But it should be fun. Like for me, comparing is fun. I love when I listen to something that Pavarotti is doing, because what I'm currently learning, or when I listen to something that my other favorite artists are doing. I love listening to it and then trying to do it. It's fun for me. So that's what I mean by comparing. It's trying to beat my current ability by using someone else as a model. Not looking at them and being like envious and jealous and stuff and being like, oh, you know, I can't have fun because someone else is better than me, so I can't enjoy my own singing anymore. No, don't think like that. That's the self-doubt that I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to stamp out. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. Joseph, as the famous figure skater puts it, I did not lose the gold, I won the silver. I love that. That's so good. Just stay positive in life, coach, and continue to see the good side of what life throws at you. You are doing great. Thank you, man. Amand. Hey, Amand. Amand's another one of my amazing students. Karen, when I learned to have fun and work hard, you improved. I love it. That's exactly where I'm at, where I've been at for years. I'm just enjoying it and working really hard. We don't walk or run straight away when we're babies. We crawl first. I love that. Exactly. And you know, watching Amira grow is incredible. You really get to see that. You really get to see how slow the stages are. Like, I've watched her learn to stand. I've watched her learn to sit up. She's still falling when she sits up, but it's beautiful watching how much better she is at sitting up. You watch her facial expressions grow. Like, she gets more and more expressions, more and more subtleties, more and more nuances. It's like, wow, it's so gradual, just like learning a skill. You see the gradualness of it, and it's really beautiful to see. And it solidifies what we're talking about here, of how skills are so gradual and you just can't quit, you know? Yeltsin does have an amazing voice. That's right, the one. Hey, Anna. Maybe head bobbing or jaw movements during high notes. Yeah. I heard other vocalists say it's a wrong way of singing, while others say it's from the resonance of the skull. I don't think it's wrong if it sounds beautiful. So if the sound is right and there isn't any physical problem, like I don't know, you're getting dizzy from shaking your head, or moving your jaw is hurting your jaw. I don't see it as a problem. I move my jaw when I do runs, and I move my head, and I move my. I don't know if I move in other ways. I do move a lot when I sing, and I copied that from my favorite artists, Brian McKnight, Wanya Morris, Tank. They move their heads so much, you know. So I don't see it as wrong because their sound to me is godly. So I have seen singers that don't move as well, and that's fantastic. If you cannot move, great. The sound sounds the same, but if the sound is different, if the sound is bad, then I would say something's wrong. But if the sound is great, I don't have a strong take on it. Yeah. Hey Unity. Oh my god, guys, Unity. Look up my channel for Unity. Or look her up on YouTube, Unity Stone. Wow, man, she's one of the most incredible singers I've ever met. She's only young, early 20s, I think. I met her at karaoke. Wow, man. Yeah, amazing voice, absolutely amazing. Desertland, it was the part where you were singing Happy Birthday with Riffs and Runs. Okay, nice. I made that up on the spot too. Asking God, learning to sing as an adult has been so hard for me. I cry to think about it even now. It is very hard, but it's the journey that's important, and it's extremely fun. Make it fun. Find a way to make it fun. Scale from 1 to 10. How good is Dimash? 100 out of 10. That's how good Dimash is. Happy cheeks. I'm talking about when you're singing Happy Birthday. Nice. Lol, I'm losing it, yeah? Ellie, TNT Boys. Yes, I gotta check him out. You have an Instagram? I do. Yeah, you can message me there. I prefer if you email me. Email me at, go to my website and check my email. I know you're busy with baby life. You consider getting a nanny to take some of the load off. Our mum already helps us, bro. Our mum, my mum, and Jess's mum already help us several days of the week. We get a lot of help. We got a lot of help. The thing is, I teach, I have my lessons, and then I have my personal practice time. That stuff is important to me. So it's hard to give that, it's hard to not do that because I get such a pleasure from one-on-one teaching and such a pleasure from my own personal practice that when I do reactions, I also get a pleasure. But reactions it's almost like entertainment for me. You know what I mean? And I need that other reward pleasure outside of entertainment. So it's hard, you don't want to give some things up, as well as I'm saying those things take my time, as well as the family stuff, of course, which is like it's urgent. I need to help Jess sometimes. I can't just and sometimes I just want to be around baby because I only get so much time with baby. You consider I work all day, and then I do these lessons and I do these practices. I don't have any time with baby when I have lessons, but when I have practice, I do it around the baby. So, and that's fun because she enjoys that. So, I have watched your videos with your beautiful little girl. I love them. Thank you. Thanks so much. Compare yourself for the better. I love that, Happy Chicks. You summed that up really nicely. Yeltsin, that's okay. By the way, I asked you this question. What criteria are you looking to tell someone he, she is a good, great singer? All the elements. So the elements that I wear on my shirt or that I put on the video? Those are the elements that I measure on someone's overall singing ability. How accurate is their pitch? Vibrato, runs speed and capabilities, vibrato speed and evenness. Can they blend into falsetto? How can they do falsetto? And what's their vocal range, low and high? That's usually the things I measure when I'm listening to a song. You're welcome, V. Wow, Unity Stone. Yes, I'm glad you watched her. Yes, she's incredible. Check her out. Thank you, Unity. You're amazing. We had a couple of duets too, me and Unity, at karaoke. That was really fun too. It's very hard to sing next to someone that incredible. But I always love it because that's a big inspiration for me because when you sing next to someone like that, you notice the differences as well, like how you start to notice, where you can be better, and it's a special feeling. Yeah, I feel lucky. Karen, I also love your reactions to Dimash. Thank you. Yes, I will be doing more reactions soon, guys. Yeltsin, Coach, I will send you some of Elaine. Yes, thank you. She's incredible. A few people have already sent me several of Elaine's. I'm looking forward to looking more at them. Yeah, you can send it through Instagram, or you can send a link to my email. Hey Karen, I'm a D of Dimash, and you are my favorite reactor. Thanks so much. Love when you play back the singer. Yeah, okay, thank you for that. Omar, salam. Unity and Jaya do it. Yeah, she'd be incredible. All right, guys, I'm off back to work. It's been an incredible live. Thanks for being a part of it. Thanks for the questions, and thanks for listening to my long half an hour rant and my mini rants after that. I'll catch you guys next.